money lender KakaoBank opened its doors for business, but it has already garnered more than 2 million users. KBank, the country's first online exclusive lender, has also enjoyed huge popularity since its launch in April. To find out how these newcomers are changing the landscape of the banking sector here in Korea, we have our Oh Soo-young joining us in the studio today. Hi, Soo-young.
Hi, Jiun.
All right, so the concept of this branchless bank is still quite new here in Korea. So what have these banks brought to the table?
Well, brick-and-mortar banks have been providing mobile services for quite some time, tapping into Korea's advanced IT infrastructure. But KBank and KakaoBank have taken the country by storm with unprecedented low borrowing rates and also user-friendly access to commonly used services. These include money transfers, setting up savings and deposit accounts, as well as taking out loans. KakaoBank's ultimate competitive advantage is that it is based on the platform of KakaoTalk, the nation's #1 mobile messaging app. And of course, there is the fun factor. KakaoBank's trademark characters on debit cards, for instance, and offering coupons for digital services as a form of interest in the case of KBank. While traditional banks saw the creation of 155,000 new accounts through its mobile services last year, it only took KBank 100 days after its launch to reach 400,000 customers, while KakaoBank hit 1 million in less than a week.
Now, I imagine traditional banks are quite worried about these newcomers on the scene. So how have they responded, and are the traditional brick-and-mortar banks under threat?
Well, the launch of the two branchless banks certainly caused a splash in the market, followed by a significant ripple effect. Brick-and-mortar banks are now scrambling to improve their mobile services and make them more user-friendly. They are also adjusting transaction fees and interest rates on individual loans and savings accounts to match those of KakaoBank and KBank. A number of banks have also cut down on the number of branches and staff members. While the newcomers have stirred winds of change in the industry, experts say in the long run, traditional lenders won't be taken down so easily.
Traditional banks will likely maintain their advantage in the market, given the sheer size of their assets, the trust and experience they've built over the years, and investment in their own mobile banking systems, as well as security programs. So they can catch up or even outmatch internet-only banks, interest rates, or services. It's been about 2 decades since internet-only banks first launched in the US and Japan, yet they only take up about 4% and 2% of their respective banking sectors, even in the US where banking regulations are more supportive of new ventures.
In fact, whether the low fee and high interest model can be sustained has also been called into question.
As seen in the US, where a lot of banks failed, price competition alone cannot make banks profitable. Rather, low prices are an entry strategy to attract customers for new players in the market. In order to stabilize and grow, internet banks must develop new services based on the needs of individual customers and charge the appropriate fees thereafter.
So rather than pushing each other out of competition, I guess they will be taking on different roles and target different customers.
Yes, that does seem to be the general consensus. Brick-and-mortar banks are likely to handle large sums of money and wealthy clients, as well as services that require more human interaction. Meanwhile, branchless banks will continue to facilitate convenient, small-scale services and also work as test beds of innovative features and financial mechanisms.
IT and social media firms have substantial growth potential as their networks are in sync with the everyday lives of their customers. They can make use of data collected from lifestyle patterns and expand their existing services. You can send money through KakaoTalk messages, for instance.
As smaller businesses, branchless banks need to find their niche. KT Corporation, for instance, has linked its own online music streaming services with KBank and determines its users' credit rating using big data.
All right, then what are some of the challenges that they face down the line?
Well, the most critical task at hand is procuring more capital to back their businesses. This is already a major issue of concern for both banks. KBank, for instance, halted its loan package for salaried workers after just 3 months due to its soaring loan-to-asset ratio. KakaoBank is also seeing its amount of extended loans close to matching its total of savings and deposits. Experts say the current banking regulations on ownership and control has severely limited the inflow of investment, which in turn affects the scale of operations.
Korea's banking law aims to separate corporate interests from banking by allowing corporate entities to hold no more than a 10% stake in commercial banks and 4% of voting power in the boardroom. If these regulations are loosened, a major shareholding company could take initiative in making vast investments as well as implementing new business ideas.
Experts say the expansion of internet-only banks could introduce diversity of products and services, which will ultimately benefit the industry as a whole, and most of all the customers.
In the era of forced industrial revolution, the source of growth is innovation. The regulatory framework should support those with the technological and innovative capacity to introduce diverse, differentiated services that also reflect the demands of the market.
However, it may take some time to see any legal changes, as there is opposition to loosening the stakeholding limits. So for now, experts say the two branchless banks' top priority should be stabilising their businesses, which could take 3 to 5 years, as well as managing initial overhead costs and ensuring sound debt collection.
Banks must also prepare for crisis management on data protection as well as unexpected problems that could occur, such as compensating customers when there are security breaches or transaction errors.
Well, I mean, it's still in its early stages, right? So I guess we can look forward to some exciting developments in Korea's banking sector.
That's right.
All right, thank you so much for coming in today.
You're very welcome.